Welcome everyone to this week's UB Chef Cook Along. We're about to get cooking with 10 dishes, weekly bakes, starters, main courses, desserts and cheese. I'm going to take you through, show you how to put it together. Really easy. Make sure you've got everything lined out. It's all labelled nicely so that you can sort of get everything together before you start cooking. Then that will take any stress away. Promise you it's really easy. So let's get cooking. Okay, starting off this week's menu, we've got this lovely Marmite sourdough, which I'm just going to unwrap here. So individual sourdough on your baking tray, that's going to go in the oven 8 to 10 minutes. When it comes out, rest it for 2 just before you slice through it with a serrated knife. Be really careful. Then here we've got a lovely smoked chicken butter just on here, and then look, lovely little chicken scratchings which we're going to roll the butter in. So I'm going to leave my butter just on here just to soften up slightly. This is going in the oven and we'll be back in about 8-10 minutes to finish this one off. So just getting ready to serve my weekly bake now. So I'm getting my scratchings, basically get them and push them into the butter itself. It's like so, and you'll find that's where, because we let the button soften slightly, it allows them to stick. So the reason we're doing this, can't tell you how nice it is to spread this lovely smoked chicken butter, crispy chicken scratchings on that Marmite sourdough. It is a match. So there we go, let's get our butter on there. Let's have a little rinse. And then, as I said, my sourdough has just been out the oven. What I'm going to do, serrated knife, hand on the top, little slice. You'll get Marmite wafting everywhere now. So nice slices of that, and I'll show you the colour inside in just a second. So slice that all the way through. This is why you need a serrated knife, because it's going to really help you get some nice slices easily. So that's all done. Look at that. See that? Lovely marbling from the Marmite going through. Then let's get our sourdough. Let's just get that in our bowl. And at this stage, straight to the table, butter, hot Marmite bread, awesome. So first starter for you, I've got this lovely little seared tuna niçoise here. So what you've got your niçoise vegetables, have them out on the side so they're warming up. You don't want everything fridge cold. Little quail's eggs just here, black olive tapenade, and here of course is your tuna. So if you pull off, you can see that is the top, how it's kind of laid. So what you want to do, just turn that over like so, pull off a little bit of greaseproof, and then just carefully, I've got my plate just here, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to sit my tuna, and then I'm just going to pull off the paper from the top like so. A little bit of rapeseed oil on the top, a little bit in the niçoise vegetables, touch of seasoning, not too much because of course you've got the tapenade, and then a little bit of salt just on that tuna. And again, that's completely up to you. Remember, you're the chef, but for me, salt makes food taste great. So, of course, use it sparingly. Little pattern knife, you see I'm just kind of rubbing that oil into the tuna, make it lovely and shiny. All right, and let's give my vegetables a little stir. You've got courgette in here, you've got pepper, green beans, you've got low tapenade. So I'm gonna just basically arrange all my vegetables just along the back, like so. You've got plenty in there, so you can be really kind of generous. Lovely little green beans. You've got olives. You've got red onion that we've just done in a little sherry vinegar. That's what makes it go lovely and pink. Look at me, giving all the secrets away. So a few more olives, a bit more red onion. You see I'm just playing with those colours. Nice bit of onion on the top for that real vivid pink colour. I'm happy with that. Then what I'm going to do, take my quail's eggs, put onto my board, and then sharp knife, and you just want to slice through. There you go. You use a bit of like different part of a knife to slice through the next one, or give it a wipe as you slice. Again, tiniest bit of seasoning on each one. We're going to get our eggs. Just gonna put them nicely placed in between. Then we're going to go tapenade. Put this on how you like. I'm just going to go some nice little spoons, like so. And again, spread it out. You don't want one big dollop of this because, of course, it's quite strong. You want a little bit of each part. Go back, tiny bit of rapeseed oil to finish, and there you go. That is my seared yellowfin tuna niçoise, little soft boiled quail's eggs. Lovely first starter. So up next I've got a pork belly cassoulet. We've done this on the menu before, but this is kind of revisited, it's new and improved. So in here is my cassoulet. I've had it out about 5 minutes, just coming up to room temperature. Little bit of crackling, here we go. These have just been baked just between like 2 heavy baking sheets. I'm going to put them in the oven for about a minute to 2 minutes, just to warm up. Let's get them in. Now let's come back to our cassoulet. Plate there. I've got my little salad of pickled shallots, gherkins in there, capers. I'm going to put a little bit of rapeseed oil just to dress it. You can season if you like, but I'm not going to because I'm fine the capers and the cornichons already seasoned enough, so that's all ready to go. And let's take our cassoulet out. So out it comes. Let's take our little bit of grease proof off, and again, so touch of rapeseed, a little bit of a palette knife just to see. I'm just kind of working that oil into the top, making it all nice and shiny, like so. Then what we'll do, get your fish slice underneath and onto your plate. So you see what I've done here, it's a little bit play on words. Cassoulet, that's got all of the lovely white beans going through it. It's got some chorizo in there as well, but I've also put a dice of butternut squash, opened up the pork belly, and we've stuffed that inside, cooked it nice and slow. Then little garnishes, we've got a chorizo, rapeseed oil and chorizo jam just in there. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to get some of my garnish. This is almost like terrine, pickles, that kind of sort of inspiration. So let's get lots of the pickled shallots on there. Let's go back, start putting some of our cornichons. These are the lovely little baby ones, so they literally pop with that awesome flavour. The big ones I find can be a little bit underwhelming. So get a few more of those on. A few more capers. As you can see, we give you plenty of garnish, like so. Then let's get some of that cheap chorizo jam. And I'm gonna go pipe. Look at that colour. Awesome yellowy colour from the rapeseed oil. So just a few nice little piles of that in. Save the rest, you can have it on a little toast. Then I'm going to put a little bit of that lovely parsley dressing, and then we'll be going and getting our crackle in to finish off. So that is our dressing. Let's grab our crackling out. Here we go. And you can hear that. Sounds like Rice Krispies. Just gonna get those beautiful little pieces of crackling to finish that off, and I am a happy man. That is my pork belly cassoulet, crackling, pickles, chorizo, rapeseed oil jam. So my vegetarian course this week for starter is a lovely potato salad. This potato, really nice new potatoes, but they've been bound with sesame flavoured mayonnaise. So that's just in there. And then we've got a Carpaccio radishes just here, something a little special. We've got pea shoots, and then we've got a nice soy and sesame dressing. So what I'm going to do, first of all, if you've got a mould, you can put it into a mould if you prefer, but you don't need to go to those lengths. So I'm just going to get my potato salad, and I want to spoon it onto my dish, just in a kind of similar shape to that of the radish, which I'm going to put on the top. And ideally, so I'm just going to try and create it so it's got like a nice little flat top to it. That's to sit the radishes on. So when you get to that stage, I'm just going to wipe the plate. Then radishes, you can see how that's got that lovely look to it. That's of course the top. So what we need to do very, very carefully turn the radish over, just on your board. Make sure it's all pressed nicely down, and then really, really carefully pull off the top sheet of paper, like so. Make sure it's all looking all together. Then, see, what I'm going to do is just turn it over and push it onto your potato salad, like so, okay? So that's all pushed down, and you can see then you almost get that nice base, and that adheres it to the potato salad underneath. And then very, very carefully, see, just peel that off, look at that. So simple as that, and you're left with a lovely little Carpaccio radish on the top. Take some of your dressing onto your pea shoots, and just get your hand and just give them a light mix, like so. Don't want to be too rough with them. I'm just going to take some of those pea shoots, just in my hand, a few more maybe, just get them together, and then we will sit that just on the top. And just use your fingers just to sort of almost arrange them, a little bit like flower arranging, so they sit on there. You can take a few more, but don't put too many on because it will all collapse. And there we go, try and get those ones with those lovely little frilly fronds on the top, like so. Another little rinse. And all I want to do now is add a bit more dressing. Give it a good stir. And this is just dressing to go around the side. So keep it quite close in. Make sure you get some of that soy as well. And that will just marry really, really nicely with the potato salad underneath. So nice and simple, stunning in execution and presentation. So you've got potato salad, sesame, soy, and pea shoots. On to my fish course now for this week, fish main course. We've got a lovely fillet of Plaice. So you can see there, fillet of Plaice, a nice bit of tomato fondue made of Isle of Wight tomatoes on the top, and then we've got that beautiful herb crust. So you've got parsley in there, a little breadcrumb, a little bit of butter as well. That's going to go in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. Doesn't take that long at all. If you want it a little bit less, you prefer your fish slightly under, just take a couple of minutes off of that. And then I've got tender stem broccoli, which we've just charred, lovely bit of smoky flavour. And then these lovely little semolina gnocchi. So in there you've got mashed potato, essentially all boiled up, and then you've got that lovely little semolina around the outside. So Plaice is going to go in the oven now. Let's get that in. 10 to 12 minutes. Both the gnocchi and the broccoli are going to go in for 5 to 6 only. And then my sauce, really, really tasty clam and nolly prat sauce. That's just going to get warmed up on the stove when we're almost ready to serve. Remember, don't boil it, come up to simmer, that's it, otherwise the clams will overcook. Then we'll be right back and I'll show you how to create this Plaice on the plate. Okay, getting ready to serve our fillet of Plaice now. So I've got my plate all heated up, like Mum always tells me. And then my little clam sauce, clam and nolly prat. Let's get our Plaice out, smelling delicious. Broccoli and our semolina gnocchi, let's bring all that over. You of course might well have a commie helping you at home, that's what I need. So, all the garnishes, then our fillet of Plaice. Right, let's get plating. So, what I'm going to do is get my broccoli, lovely pieces of chard, like so. Let's get all that on there. Let's just give that a little wipe. Then I'm going to get my nice semolina gnocchi, like so. Put those all around. Then let's get our fillet. Let's just sit that on the top. There you go. So you can see that Isle of Wight tomato fondue underneath, herb crust on the top. So this is a real classic, this one. Let's get a little bit of sauce. So this has got nolly prat, fish stock made from those Plaice bones. And then go in and make sure you get all those clams out. We've taken them all out of the shell, so you haven't got to fight with any gritty clams or anything like that. Make sure they get all added around. A little bit more sauce. You can serve more on the table if you prefer as well. And then split that sauce out with a tiny bit of rapeseed oil. Beautiful colour. Then we're looking good. All ready to go. So that's our fillet of Plaice, tomato fondue, charred broccoli, semolina gnocchi. Good enough to eat. My main course this week, we've got a little duo of chicken. So going back to the 80s with that description there. So what you've got, lovely bit of corn-fed chicken, which we've cooked on the crown. We've coloured it off for you. That's going in the oven, 8 to 10 minutes. And then ravioli, saffron pasta. Inside you've got a beautiful chicken mousse with wild mushrooms in there. Also it's got some truffle going through it as well. So let's get them in. Ravioli's going in simmering water, seasoned. And chicken's going in the oven. Both 8 to 10 minutes. Then what we've got here, we've got some leeks. This is just wilted down leeks. We've got butter in there. I'm going to add a tiny bit of water, just a little bit, like so. That's going to go just on the edge of the stove. Start that heating up. Then the sauces. Sauce. We've got a jus gras. Now this is a really nice chicken flavoured sauce, but it's got the fat from the roasted chicken which has gone back into it. And then you just want to get that on the side of the stove as well. Bring that up to a simmer. Little crispy leeks. Little charred leeks, 4 minutes in the oven, and then we'll be right back and we'll be ready to plate up. Okay, so here comes my chicken. Got a lovely crispy skin on there now, so that's all coming out. Little charred leeks, press the chicken. Let's get our plate out. So we've got dried leeks there. I've got my jus gras. As you can see, I've just returned to the simmer, and I've got those nice little compote of buttered leeks. Then what I've got there, you see I've got a pan, touch of rapeseed oil in there, or butter, whatever you prefer, a little bit of water. Give your ravioli a nice drain off, slotted spoon, and then into the pan, tiny bit of seasoning on the top, like so, and then we're ready to go. So, leeks, I'm going to put a nice pile. Keep those leeks nice and together. Give them a little drain if they need it as you're plating them. Just put them down like so. Our chicken, like that. I'm just going to slice off a little bit of the bottom so that sits all lovely on there. Look at that. And again, if you like a little bit, tiny bit of moulding just on the top. Right, let's get our ravioli. A little bit of a baste just over the top, and then drain, and then sit that on there like so. There we go. Right, let's start to finish this off. So, baby leeks. We've charred these, so you get beautiful stuff happening in there. Then let's get our leeks on the top, like so. And then see how we get a little bit of sauce just to finish off. And there we go. That is your chicken, little ravioli of chicken and mushroom and truffle, crispy leeks on the top. Vegetarian main course this week, we've got a Tarte Fine. So Tarte Fine, lovely thin puff pastry on the base, which is baked between 2 sheets. We've then spread a Parmesan polenta, or Gran Padano polenta, just on the top of there. Then we've got our baked sliced Jerusalem artichokes, touch of lemon thyme on there. That's going to go in the oven. You've got this lovely little bit of greaseproof, UV Chef greaseproof paper underneath it. Remember that greaseproof is compostable, so it can go in your food waste. Very, very clever. Then we've got some nice kale. It is a season, of course, now. A little bit of butter on there. That's going to go in the oven about 5 to 6 minutes. And then garnishes. So this is our little dressing here. Pine nut just in there, lemon thyme. You can see that we're going to give that a good stir before we serve it. And then we've got a little pesto just on the side here. That's going to finish our tart off nicely. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. I'll show you how to put it together. Okay, so let's paint our Tarte Fine up just here. So make sure my grill's ready, off ready for the next dish. Right, so I'm going to take my kale, and look at this, that's just been warmed up in the oven. Give it a little bit of a drain on the plate, and I'm just going to make a nice little base on which to sit the tart. So get rid of that. Then we'll take our Tarte Fine, and you can use a paper just to get it onto your board, and then go under with your nice spatula over, and then let's just sit that on the top. And then what do we want next? We want some of our lovely pesto. So kale pesto. I'm just going to do some nice spoonfuls of this all the way around. And of course, remember, this has got pine nuts in it, so anyone nut allergy, stay well clear on this one. So if you, the dressing and the pesto have. So that's all looking good to me. Let's get one more on there. There we go. Quick rinse. And then we'll come straight back. We've got our dressing. Pine nut, lemon thyme, lemon. And this is what really finishes it off. Lovely, rich dressing. All on the top. Get some going around the sides. And then a little bit on the plate as well. Really makes the whole thing pop. There we go. So that's my vegetarian main course. Lovely little Tarte Fine, drew some artichoke, little polenta under there, pesto dressing. Hope you enjoy it. So, new dessert on Newbie Chef menu here. This is a Paris-Brest that we're going to be doing. Called Paris-Brest because of a famous bike race in France, from Paris to Brest, of course. So what you've got here, this is your lovely little choux pastry. This has been in the oven for 4 minutes. So put it in the oven, crisping it back up again, and then let it kind of cool just at room temperature. But really, really important, then you've got a lovely crunch on the top. So what we're going to do, serrated knife, and you see, basically, put your hand just on the top, and you want to cut this, excuse the sirens, cut this, you see, all the way around, nice and evenly, like so. So I'm twisting it so I get the outside absolutely bang on. There we go, right away, and then I'm just going to take it all the way through. And of course, be careful as you're slicing it, careful of your fingers. There we go. So that's your hollowed out Paris-Brest, and of course this is your base. Then what we're going to fill it with, chocolate mousse of course. Cut off your piping bag. These are of course compostable piping bags. So this is your chocolate mousse, and this has got praline going through it. What we're going to do is pipe some nice piles of that all the way around. Don't worry, you can go back after and add more. So try and get them nice and even, and then I'm going to go in, I'm going to add some more. So we've given you a really nice portion of this mousse to pipe in, like so. So what you're going to do then is take back your lid and put that back on the top. There we go, that's all on there. Then we've sent you with a little espresso syrup. Get that into a little pan or a little dish, and use a pastry brush. If you haven't got one, just use a spoon. But if you've got a clean paintbrush, that will do the job very, very nicely. And then basically dab and brush the top of your choux pastry with that syrup. This is a couple of reasons. One, flavour. But then the next reason is it's going to help stick our granola to it. So I'm just spending a bit of time, try not to push down on it. Get that all decorated nicely. Then what we'll do, take a spoon, take your granola. So this is little cocoa nibs in here, toasted, little hazelnuts. And you see how I'm just going to basically load that granola on the top. Like so. So that's all the way around. Don't worry about the granola going on the table or a tray, whichever you're plating it on, like so. Okay, then a little shake, a little tap, like so. Then I'm just going to go in with my little spatula, get it onto the side, and if you're doing multiple ones, you can of course then go again and use that granola up on the next one. So what we'll do then, see our dish, I'm going to take my espresso anglaise. If it's too thin, if it's too thick, sorry, add a touch of milk, touch of water just to thin it down, and then back of a spoon, just spread that out, and then we're going to sit our awesome Paris-Brest on the top of here. So that is all ready to go. Lift your Paris-Brest on like so. There we go. A little bit of a clean up. Look at that. Chocolate mousse all going through there. You got a lovely choux pastry, anglaise, beautiful dessert. Nice simple one for you now. This dessert is a cardamom panna cotta. We've got it in our little new glass dishes here. Make sure you let it out room temperature for about 10 minutes or so before you need it, and that will just let it warm up just slightly. Fridge cold, obviously you're not going to taste as much. So what we've got there, red wine poached pears, and we've got a nice bit of biscotti, and we've got some grappa to serve with it. So I'm just going to get my pears. Really, really simple. Just get those and arrange them all the way around. Pears, cardamom, really, really nice matches here. So we'll get all those on the top, like so. I'm going to get a little bit of the juice from the poaching liquor just on the top. Tiny bit of grappa just before you serve it. See, I'll just pour that on there. And again, grappa and panna cotta is a real favourite of mine. Let's get that on our dish. Then take your biscotti. We left that nice and chunky. Just garnish that. Serve with a spoon. You can dunk it in with the biscotti onto there. Hope you enjoy this dessert. So last course of this week's menu is our cheese course. So get your cheeses, make sure they're left out room temperature, at least 15 minutes before you serve them. And then you've got your cheese notes on the side. So basically you can just get them, put them all in order according to cheese notes. So I'm going to start right away to, and then we're going to work in strength as we go. So Isle of Wight soft, we're just going to start with. Lovely bit of Comté, aged Comté, we're just going to put in there, like so. Then we've got a rich Taleggio, which we'll just get in there. Wash rinded Langres, put that one in. And then super rich Gorgonzola, and a nice little bit of quince. Then we've got a little bit of house chutney, as well as the quince. We've done nectarines this week as a chutney, really delicious, especially with that Gorgonzola cheese. This one, absolutely beautiful. So let's get that nice and full up. Let's put that just on the side. And then fennel seed crackers, which you'll know if you've had a cheese course before is a real favourite. Those fennel seeds popping with the cheeses and chutney. More crackers to serve on the table. There's your cheese notes, that's your cheese course. Hope you enjoyed this week's menu. Remember, we'll be back next week. Last orders Sunday night for delivery next week. Full new menu as it is every single week. Have a great week. Happy cooking.